Hi friends, thank you for your contributions to building a library here at Hillsboro United Methodist. Thank you, Dawn Green, for the inspiration. This has been a grand adventure. So we're going to do some videos of reading some of these books together with you. And the first one is Griffin's Vision Quest. This is written by Griffin Pinkow, illustrated by Sophie Lane. I'm going to read the very first part of it where it does the dedication. And this book is dedicated to every child learning to navigate the world in their own unique way, especially those living with visual impairment. This book is for you. May you always remember that courage is not about seeing perfectly, but about believing in yourself, asking questions, trying new things, and never giving up on your dreams. And to the parents, grandparents, siblings, teachers, friends, and helpers who guide, encourage, and cheer these children on every day, thank you. Your love, patience, and support help light the path forward. May this story remind every young reader that adventures come in many forms and that true vision comes from the heart. On the very back of the book, there's a piece that talks about our friend Griffin, and it's called About the Author. Griffin Pinkow is an adaptive athlete, advocate, speaker, and the founder of Foreseeable Future Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping blind and visually impaired individuals gain access to sports, recreation, education, and opportunity. After being diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa at a young age, Griffin refused to let vision loss define what was possible for his life. Through adaptive sports, tandem cycling, marathons, and advocacy work, he discovered a new path forward, one built on resilience, community, and purpose. Today, Griffin helps thousands of individuals and families across the country through grants, scholarships, camps, clinics, and adaptive sports programming. His mission is to create access, build confidence, and help others discover what they are capable of. Griffin's Vision Quest is his first children's book. So I'm going to ask my favorite librarian to read us a story. Would you please?
I would be delighted. Griffin's Vision Quest by Griffin Pinkow. Hi, my name is Griffin. People say I changed the world by just being me. I have retinitis pigmentosa. I am blind. But once, I was just a kid who loved baseball. I was 11 and I was fast. The field was my favorite place in the world. I felt at home with the scent of dirt and grass and the echo of cheers with the crack of a bat. When I ran, I felt unstoppable. One day I was in the outfield, glove ready. The crowd got quiet. Crack! The ball shot up into the sky. I searched for it, blinking against the sun. Whack! The ball found me before I found it. Pain exploded across my head. The world tilted, blurry and strange, like someone had dimmed the lights inside my eyes. The sky went black and the ball bright white, like a photo turned inside out, a negative. I tried to focus, but the colors ran together like wet paint. Mom watched me blink and rub my eyes. She picked up the phone and called the doctor. My dad grabbed the keys and we were on the way. The doctor's office smelled like coffee and paper. As I sat in a tall chair, machines hummed and lights flickered around me. Following a puff of air, the doctor looked deep into my eyes. She said softly, "Your son has retinitis pigmentosa. It is progressive." I looked at my parents, and I knew that progressive was not good. We drove home without talking. The turn signal sounded louder than usual. Dad's eyes stayed on the road, while Mom stared out the window. I saw a shine in their eyes. Mine felt the same. My parents sat with me and explained what was happening to my eyes. They told me my vision would change over time. Some things might get blurry, and some things might change. I had questions, and they answered every one. They made sure I felt safe. Middle school came with new challenges. My sight faded slowly, and low light made everything hard to see. Projectors and TVs looked like shadows to me. That's called night blindness, when darkness steals the details. I had to learn to adapt while growing up at the same time. High school was overwhelming. Teachers handed out papers I couldn't read. Friends stopped waving from across the room. But I was determined to succeed. I didn't know how to ask for help. I loved sports, and I did not want to give them up. But football practice was at night, and the field disappeared in the dark. When practice ended, everyone headed to the locker room up the hill. I stood alone on the field in the dark, unable to navigate where to go. A coach finally noticed and sent a teammate to guide me back. One afternoon in the cafeteria, Nate mocked me for my sight. The laughter hit first, then the heat for a fight. I swung before I thought. He swung back. I punched him again, and he hit the floor. They said I started it. Maybe I did. That's when I realized anger won't fix anything. If people didn't understand blindness, someone had to teach them. By junior year, everything had changed. I started at a new school in Long Island. New halls and new faces that didn't know my story. I hoped that meant a fresh start. I needed one. That's where I met Kevin, my school counselor. He wasn't a teacher, but he taught me plenty. He showed me how to speak up for what I needed, how to ask for bigger print and more time on tests, how to advocate for myself. For the first time, school didn't feel like a fight. My classmates helped instead of staring. They walked with me down crowded halls. They listened. They learned. My friend Bobby told me about an event called the Vision Walk. He said I should volunteer with him and the others. So I did, helping people find their way through the crowd. I couldn't see every face that day, but I knew this was leading somewhere. College started with a bang. I joined the rugby team. The field grew darker with every drill. I ran straight into the goalpost. 15 stitches later, I finally went home. College academics came more easily to me. I spoke with my professors, told them what I needed. Every time I advocated for myself, the world got a little clearer. My friend Adam dared me to run the New York City Marathon. We trained together, learning guided running step by step. At mile 22, pain screamed through my leg, but I refused to stop. Crossing the finish line of the coldest New York City race ever recorded felt euphoric. That race showed me what was possible with adaptive sports. Between classes, I started organizing events, fundraisers such as Griffin's Vision Quest, Dining in the Dark, and Hockey Shot. 8 events in 1 year. We raised $80,000 for blindness research, and I realized my cane wasn't something to hide anymore. Next, something unexpected happened. I met Lester. At first, I said no. I wasn't ready for a guide dog. My friend filled out the application anyway. The day we met, he gave me a big, full-body wag. It felt like we'd been waiting for each other all along. Lester learned fast. He guided me through crowds and crosswalks, through airports and new adventures. He walked beside me, calm and constant. I learned to trust his pause more than my own sight. Soon everyone knew him. Lester became the talk of the town, part guide, part best friend. He made people smile wherever we went, and he always leads me home. When I was little, Dad tried to teach me how to ride a bike, but when the training wheels came off too early, so did I, right onto the ground. I tried again in high school, hoping it would be easier, but with my vision, the world moved faster than I could follow. The determination to ride never subsided. After college, my friend Amy told me about tandem cycling. I applied and was accepted to a skill development camp. I learned to ride with a guide for the first time and walked out of that camp ready to race. That dream led me to the Paralympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. I wanted to compete at the elite level, so I entered the Road Nationals. I raced in road cycling and didn't medal, but finishing gave me confidence. The next year, I tried track cycling. I received a medal, a jersey, and photos from that win. I checked off a major goal and learned that training and hard work pay off. To get stronger for cycling, I trained at the gym, but the treadmill was impossible to navigate. A man named Nick saw me struggling and offered to help. He didn't stare, question, or pity me. He just treated me like anyone else. He asked if I wanted a training partner. I said, sure, how's 6 a.m. tomorrow? He had no idea what he was getting into. Nick owns a coffee company called Bluestone Lane. He introduced me to a new friend named Mike. They asked me what I wanted my life to be about. I said I wanted to create a foundation to help blind athletes. Nick joined my board of directors, and Mike wanted to help with events. The mission at the Foreseeable Future Foundation is to help people who are blind or visually impaired live more fulfilling lives through sports and recreation. We increase awareness and inclusion by connecting visually impaired and sighted communities through shared activities. We create opportunities for people to get active, build confidence, and find community together. The Foreseeable Future Foundation offers a free advocacy curriculum for people who are blind or losing their sight. It teaches how to speak up for what you need. If you are denied support, we teach you to reflect and plan your next step. We also run mock interviews for kids and adults to practice real advocacy skills. We provide access to adaptive sports camps, clubs, and clinics through grants and scholarships. One of my favorite success stories is about a young man named Henry. He asked me to guide him in a run, bike, run, do-a-thon. With Counselor Dan guiding me, I was able to guide Henry to the finish line. When asked about his next goal, Henry said, I want to start a foundation to help others too. Foreseeable Future Foundation also runs ranch programs that teach outdoor skills like fly fishing, rock climbing, horseback riding, archery, hiking, rock climbing, and beekeeping. Once a camper reached the top of the rock wall and shouted, "I'm Tarzan!" Only then did we learn he feared heights, but he did it anyway. That's the kind of impact we're making. Our athletes also experience epic adventures, such as adaptive skiing in Aspen and Vail. They travel, navigate hotels, and learn to move through the world on their own terms. On the slopes, fear becomes fuel. Confidence becomes skill. They find a community of peers who lift each other higher. Together, they do what the world says they can't. As the Foreseeable Future Foundation grew, so did our reach. I was invited to share our story on TV across the country. From interviews with Kevin Harrington and Gail Gallardo to Good Day New York, NBC, Fox, and more. I spoke about what's possible for the visually impaired and blind community. This opened the door for everything that came next. Foreseeable Future grew from local to nationwide. We've helped over 5,000 veterans, kids, and their families access sports and recreation. From kids just getting started to Paralympic level athletes. From first experiences to competitive goals, giving them access to support their athletic journey. We've built a pipeline that connects the visually impaired and blind people across the country to opportunity. Through grants and scholarships, we open doors to sports at every level. Marathons, triathlons, tandem cycling, ranch programs, and more. We bring people together, build confidence, and create access. And we help each person advocate for themselves. Foreseeable Future Foundation empowers individuals in the blind and low vision community through sports, recreation, advocacy, and opportunity. We need partners like you to expand that reach. Learn more, donate, or connect someone to our services at foreseeablefuture.org. Every contribution fuels access and independence. My journey started with me trying to find my way. Now we're helping thousands do the same through sports and recreation, community, and opportunity. I've seen what's possible when someone is given a chance. I invite you to be a part of that impact.
I love that. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thanks for being with us. We'll do another book next time.
Okay.
This was awesome. And Griffin, thank you for writing this. You bless us all.